It was Christmas night, cold and snowy, but every house was filled with warmth and joy. Twinkling colorful lights adorned the winding streets, and smiles lit up every face. But in a small village, amidst all the festive cheer, a little girl named Gudiya stood quietly, feeling sad. She had no gifts. Her eyes reflected disappointment and silence because she knew she didn't have enough money to give anything to her friends. While her friends chatted excitedly about their grand presents, Gudiya sat silently. In her small world, those gifts which she could only imagine could never reach her hands to. She thought to herself, could I collect some beautiful flowers from the forest and give them to my friends? Without hesitation, despite the cold, she started walking towards the forest in search of flowers. In the forest, amidst snow covered branches, Gudiya carefully gathered a bunch of colorful flowers. Her small fingers trembled, but her heart was filled with joy. She thought, at least this time I will be able to give something to my friends. Happily, she walked back home with her bouquet of flowers. The next day, Gudiya went to her friends and gave them a lovely bunch of flowers. But her friends surrounded her and laughed. What's this? One of them said. You will always be poor, Gudiya. Another mocked. Their words deeply hurt her heart. She was shattered, and without saying a word, she returned to the forest. In the forest, she sat under a lone tree and began to cry uncontrollably. Her tears fell on the snow, and she felt as though she would never matter to anyone. Her little world had become even smaller. Suddenly, a magnificent light lit up everything around her. Startled Gudiya looked up and saw Santa Claus standing before her. His red robe and white beard glowed so brightly, it seemed as if the whole world was illuminated in that light. Santa looked at her, smiled, and said, Gudiya, your heart is your greatest gift. This kindness, this love, this is what truly matters. Then Santa reached into his sack and pulled out colorful gifts, handing them to Gudiya. Her eyes sparkled with joy, but she immediately asked, Will you give something for my friends too? They will also be happy. Santa hugged her and said, You have the biggest heart, Gudiya. He then gave presents to all her friends. Now everyone's faces lit up with joy, but the most special of all was Gudiya's heart, always ready to bring happiness to her friends. The villagers came together to thank Santa and Gudiya. They realized that true happiness lies in the love and kindness we show to others. Gudiya not only brought joy to her friends, but also taught the entire village that the real gift is hidden in love and compassion, not in expensive presents. The moral is true happiness lies in love, kindness, and generosity towards others.